I appreciate y'all being here. We wanted to do a video basically for Portside's YouTube talking about how far we've come in advertising and how it's changed since Portside opened the doors in 2006. So basically almost 20 years ago. And what we've done different for you guys. And how you've seen everything change. Like I remember when we started out with Aaron's back in, right when we started, and we were just doing radio. And your choices were like radio, TV, billboard, maybe some magazines, a newspaper, whatever. And now it's like changing to digital. There was no digital advertising back then. I mean, there was no Google ads like we're doing with Advanced Term. There was like everything was different. And so now here we are. Where do we go next? Right? So what have you seen? Like, what changes have y'all seen over the years? Where do you think it's headed? That's kind of what we were going to talk about.
Man, it is crazy with AI. Because like there's two thought processes in that spectrum. Like as AI becomes this tool for leverage, also think that there's going to be this massive desire for human connection. And how do you do that? And how do people know it's actually you and not some AI generated version of you? And so kind of what keeps me a little bit awake at night is I think if you look at real estate industry, somebody out there, some entity is trying to figure out how to cut realtors out of that role.
Right.
How do you create a brand with a bunch of chat bots and whatnot? Could you do that? Could you create a bunch of videos and
so now you're creating one video that's going to multiple people. And what you'll see with AI in the future is you'll take that video and AI will generate 50 videos out of it that will be tailored to every single person's specific, what they're looking for online. And you'll see somebody's looking for a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house on the canal in Orange Beach, and those will be served just to those people looking for that with an interest in that, and the ad will be recreated. The video ad will be recreated, tailored towards them with both video and audio.
So
and that's what you're going to see.
Data.
Yes. And so you'll also see more videos online with a purchase now option. So you can go to whether it's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube already has this. When you're watching TV, a lot of times on YouTube TV and digital television, you'll see a purchase now or go to the ad option, and that's what you're going to see more of in the future.
Is that what you're seeing with younger people? Are they already
Absolutely.
Interesting.
But
so essentially, if they're online looking for a hair transplant, or they're looking for laser hair removal, or they're looking for someone to look at their skin to make sure they don't have melanoma, they'll get a message specifically tailored for whatever they're looking for that would maybe provide some educational content. So, I mean,
absolutely. And they're going to be more interactive. So you'll use the AI bots to communicate with them on that based on what you have programmed in.
And then
does AI get stumped? It gets escalated to a human.
And then does it automatically basically send their information to us so we can contact them and set up for an appointment, or give them the opportunity to do an appointment online? Or
that's up to how you have it set up. So that's up to you to set it up. So you can, how deep do you want the AI bot to be able to communicate with them, or do you want it to just gather their information and turn it right back over to you? And you see a lot of that now with when you're on a website. whether you know it or not, most of the time you're probably communicating with a chat bot unless they have it turned off. But the chat bot is the one that's interacting with you, and their main goal most of the time is to gather all of your contact information so they can have someone be with you if they can't fulfill the obligation that you're looking for, whether that's checking out online or setting an appointment or making a purchase, you know.
How do we kind of regulate that where, you know, we're getting it out there and we're providing them with useful information, but at the same time, we don't want to nag them, you know, too much or seem like we're kind of being too aggressive? How do you kind of, you know, rein that in a little bit where you're getting them information, but at the same time, you know, it's well received?
So the AI is only capable of doing what it's trained to do by you and how you interact and how you speak. And it's learned that through the communication that your website or whatever has done in the past.
Or you. Like,
Wow.
it's
Right.
like we got it hooked up to our emails so it understands how we reply, how we sound like when we reply to emails. We're especially if you're trying to do this with video and everything else. It is crazy. Like it could be specially tailored, and maybe they don't have to call your office. Maybe it's just like, oh, I want to set an appointment. I just click this. Here's the appointment options over the next 30 days, or 60 days, however your calendar's set out.
Yeah, we're already doing online appointments, so the patients
Right.
can already go to our information and essentially schedule appointments. I guess it was just kind of connected to that.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
still
right.
slow though, don't you think, Joe? Like I had to deal with somebody else's insurance 'cause somebody backed into my car, and like so it was all AI, and then eventually I didn't have all the answers the AI needed to like process the claim, and so somebody did hop on the phone, but it would have been nicer, like, you know, it's like I need you to say this series of numbers in the phone. It just isn't. It's still clunky. It feels like. I mean, at some point it gets smoother. I'm
Right.
assuming.
I think you can tell a big difference in most AI produced content right now, especially images and graphics online, especially on social media when you're looking at that. I mean, you can tell when something's fake. And then what are the laws going to be regulating, like whose stuff you can use and who you can turn? There are a lot of platforms right now, we use them sometimes just for fun, where you could take a coach or a politician and they're available, and you just enter online what you want them to say. You type in what you want them to say. I mean, you see them on social media all the time, right? And it produces it within about 45 seconds, and it looks like they're at a stage, but you can still tell that most of the time their mouth is off a little bit in their speaking, and I think that's only going to get better.
So the other aspect is like when you look at, I would think, like how specifically you could target. Like if you were just doing TV or newspapers or billboards or radio, you just would say there was this demographic of adults 25 to 54, and they made between $74,000 and $100,000 a year, and that like fit into this box a little bit of what you kind of needed, right? But like to me, the big advancement, if you were like a business owner and you were looking at deploying marketing dollars, was how do I like take that, call it $10,000 spend, and like make sure that I hit like
The right people
The
at
right
the right
people.
time with the
Where-
right message.
yeah.
And that's what this is allowing you to do. I mean, obviously, you can already geo-target different facilities, but is it the right person in the facility when you're just using the geo-targeting feature? So if I wanted to target Tommy Bender at his practice at Providence Park Hospital, all right, and he's going to be in there. it's not good enough just to be able to target his facility geographically, even though we could get down to a 10 by 10 area in his building. If we knew where his office was, we could just do that. But you see hundreds of people go in his office today. We don't want those people, right?
Yeah.
So geo-targeting, geo-fencing may not be the right tactic just to reach Tommy, but he's put his information out there on enough places where we can reach him in other ways. We could buy, right, I mean, now it's easy. You could buy an email list of dermatologists in Alabama or whatever. You can get specific, but there are other ways to reach him, depending on what you're trying to do. So
I didn't know it was like that specific. Wow. It's like a,
I mean, really,
it's like an AI smart bomb.
right.
Well, I guess you
Specifically
could say
targeting.
this person, like through this demographic, right? How do you, Joe? Like, what I always wondered about geofencing, like, if you said, "Hey, look, we're just going to like geofence the back entrance of Tommy's office building so we can catch him and all his staff," like we're going to just hit those people.
That's
Like,
easy enough.
but then, like, let's say, like, out of that, then you would say, I wanted to look for somebody that like might have went on to Zillow in the past 30 days. Like, is that capability out there yet? Like,
Somebody from Tommy's office that went on Zillow.
yeah,
within
like
the
if you're
past 30 days,
geofencing his,
you would have to know their IP address,
okay,
and so it depends on how much information you have on those people in the building.
okay. I mean, because you know, we all know when you talk into your phone or we're having this conversation. Like, I'm guessing that we'll have some sort of like email or
Right.
like
That's right.
Like-
That's
like
right.
it's
Depending on what settings your phone has turned on,
yeah, it's
the
listening
voice
to
features,
us.
right? And so if you start talking about different sites or products, you're probably going to have some ads following you around later
Especially products.
based on your phone settings.
How does that happen?
I mean, you have settings in your
Yeah.
phone that allow the phone recognition if you go deep down into your settings, and you can turn them off.
Okay.
But I personally, I've seen, I turned it off, and I still get the ads following me around. Those creepy ads, as people call them, following you around. So honestly,
There's no way. It's
right.
So I think for our organization, going back to your question, what's changed in the last 25 years? A lot, right? I mean, going from print to digital, it's a big stretch. And then the stretch from digital to AI and how you get the message where you need it and to who the audience is complicated, right? And it's getting even more complicated. And for me as a business owner, I can't keep up with all that. Right. I mean, I can't. I mean, my focus is the customer experience, right? I mean, I rely on Portside to get the message and to have the right message that gets the clicks, to target the right audiences, and then to ultimately produce door swings. So for us to allow Portside to engineer how we market allows me to focus on the customer experience, and that's what benefits us the most.
Right.
do you guys ask like how they hear, or like, because y'all have a larger volume of people coming through your door than I have coming through my door. So do you ask like how they heard about you?
You know, e-com has become such a big part of our business online, right? About 40% of our customer deliveries are originated digitally via e-com. So that's when we use Portside on those digital ads, and Joe gives us information on the amount of clicks, the amount of people who are seeing it. People are in their phones all day, right? Walk into Walmart and anybody's got their phone to their face. And in today's world, I mean, you've got a second. I mean, it's just a split second for your message or whatever that is, a picture, lifestyle, or just a moving, video or something that just makes them stop for a second because they're just going. It's just constant ads, and hopefully we're producing the ads with the right message. And that's what we rely on Portside to do, to create an ad that makes somebody stop swiping just for a second, and then the message be good enough that hopefully they click on it and then they land on our website. So.
It's cool. I mean, I just love the it's almost a game. You know,
It's surprising to me the amount of people that purchase furniture without it never even sitting on it.
Right. I mean, you have cars being delivered, purchased online and delivered. That's a $50,000 to $150,000 purchase, whatever, being delivered to you sight unseen. You know about it. You know about the dealer and the dealer's reputation.
the information's so much better these days. Like, you could probably buy a boat or a car or a house. I mean, we do houses without people ever. We were doing houses at one point without me even seeing them, which I thought was weird because that's where you raised your family.
Right.
It leaves a pretty good allocation of capital. Yeah.
Right. My last house that I sold that I lived in was purchased without physically being at the house. I mean, like Zooms and videos and whatever, but they didn't ever see the house before they put their deposit down, which means I probably sold it too low.
Joe, in the last 20 years since y'all been around, what has caused that phenomenon where people have enough trust to buy something sight unseen?
That's a great question. I don't know.
For us, right? So we do see less foot traffic in our stores just due to the e-com business. What we found is that younger generation doesn't want to go into a store. They don't want to deal with a salesperson. They would rather do it online, right? They want to live through that phone, and that's where we're seeing the uptick in deliveries is through that Gen Z or that younger generation.
I think it's all about time management, right? I mean, they've got other things they'd rather be doing than going into a store and, like you said, maybe having to talk to sales folks or whatever. And I think the information that they can find online, as long as they're comfortable with the pictures of the product, the description of the product, the research that they've maybe already done, and maybe they've already seen something similar in person somewhere else, and it gets them where they're comfortable to make that type of purchase online.
Right. I mean,
Sight unseen.
even you guys offer telehealth video appointments for some procedures, right? So
The big part of it is with that generation is social media, the influence of social media. They trust whoever they're following, these influencers, and they'll buy whatever they say, and they do it in a matter of seconds. So there's not, there's a whole shift in that culture from the way we did it when we graduated from college, looking for a home, whatever, and versus the way they're finding information and taking those steps.
right. I think that's what that's a good point, and I think that has a lot to do with seeing you on TV. They see that you're the expert, and that's what our campaign's been focused on for years, making you the expert in the field, and or hearing you on the radio or seeing you on TV or wherever it is out in the community, and knowing they have a trust in you that they're comfortable doing a telehealth appointment or whatever, right? So
Well, everything we do is about trust. I mean, whether they
Right.
do it
Right. In
via
person.
the telephone or in person, I mean, they're trusting us with something that's very important, which is their health.
Right.
And yeah, you've done a great job. I mean, first came home after getting out of the military, and it was Joseph Brown and Associates, right?
That's right.
And then went to, of course, became Portside at some point. But I think that, you've done a great job, and you're organizations done a great job of using, the data and what we had at the time to, to do exactly as you just mentioned, which is, make us, if not the expert, one of the leading experts in the field, and basically, gaining that trust and continuing to answer, patient questions and to give them information so that they can make an informed decision on if they want to come see us or if they need to come see us.
Right.
And I've done a great job of that. So I remember the days of the mobile press register, and then and then putting stuff, getting really fancy and putting some stuff in some glossy magazines. That was a lot more expensive. We did it when it made sense, and then of course graduating, doing things online with our website and trying to encourage folks to come in and read the various pages and
Right.
and
Back then, you didn't even have a website. I mean, nobody had a website, right? I mean, like,
well, I'm getting older now. I can't remember exactly what point that
Right.
came on, but it came on a while ago now.
Right.
And
right.
and then of
15
course,
years probably,
Right.
15.
so well, I mean that's
10 to
exactly
15.
when I got out of the United States Air Force and came home in 2009. So that's but we've experienced a lot of growth, and not only in patients coming to see us, but also in other. This is also about merging and growing as far as bringing in other providers to provide care. I think that when you establish yourself, whatever industry it is, as the expert in your particular field, when someone's looking to work in real estate, that's another thing we haven't really talked about, or someone's looking at, maybe they've been in furniture sales somewhere else and they're married to someone who got transferred with the Coast Guard to Mobile, for example. And they're looking, who are they going to join? Well, heck, I mean, I keep seeing this business. I keep seeing this person in this industry. I mean, I think I'm going to go apply for a job with them. So,
Right.
I think that that's also important when you're establishing yourself, your business as the top in your particular industry.
I feel like we get to storytell more now, right? Like if you're looking to build trust, it's kind of it's
100%.
it's a story. And before, like you were saying, Tommy and Brent, like you were just let's throw an ad out in the press register or in a magazine, and like what was the story? Like I felt like those were like kind of value, like 10% off sale. How do you tell somebody to come in for this spot that's on there? Like,
Well, the
back in
best
the
part
day.
about that is just like Brent was talking about earlier, when he takes care of the customers, they help tell his story. I mean, there's nothing better than getting a good whatever Facebook post or Google review for all of us, right? To say, man, I got a heck of an experience at this place, and they really took care of me and treated me right. I mean, that's
think
what we
that-
all want. It's a good story to tell.
It helps define who we are as a person too. Like I don't know about you guys, but I put some value in like that story. Like as who I am. It isn't a little bit like if you had a great experience, like I say, yep, that is who we are. If you had a bad experience, like it hurts.
It does.
And I want
It does.
to like figure out like
That's right.
was it where in our process did we like mess up? Like we obviously did not deliver on what we said we were going to do, right?
Right.
Well, I think that feedback's important, and so I mean, obviously, when you get great feedback, that's important because you can kind of identify those things you're doing right. But then if you get a review or feedback that's it's not where you want to be, that gives us some areas where we can get better, and that's kind of hopefully some of the criticism is not constructive criticism, and some of these reviews you look at and there's not too much that you can do to make it a better experience for various reasons.
Right.
But when you do get that feedback, it's really powerful because you can go to your other staff and you can kind of let them know and show them, hey, here's where we need to improve. And that's a very powerful thing in every industry.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you because in your 20 years, I mean, the internet
Well,
isn't really
look,
that old.
it's been. I'm older than that because I was in advertising before that all started, dating back to the Mobile Press Register in
I can
'92.
remember dial-up
So,
internet
yeah,
service,
so
so it wasn't that many decades ago, if you will. But now we've seen the emergence of social media, but you also have Gen Z, Gen X, and everybody kind of communicates, differently. So
Right.
seems like that is another challenge to be able to message to a specific generation who's grown up very different than I grew up as a
Right.
baby boomer.
I think that's what AI is helping with that challenge.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think to your point that you just made, in that you have to kind of have an approach that takes that into consideration. That you have some older people out there who they might still be more to hear something on the radio or see something on television as opposed to going onto social media. And then you've got folks who are our age who kind of can do a little bit of everything. And then you've got the younger folks who are probably more focused on social media and more whatever they can get on this.
right.
So I think that it's important to kind of, and that might be different industry to industry as far as who you're trying to reach out to and what your goals are.
I think you're right. Because I know someone who does seminars about communicating between generations, and for furniture buyers who are in their 30s, you've got baby boomers trying to sell furniture to 30 something, so there's a different message that you have to kind of figure out. By the same token, you've got 30 somethings that are in wealth management talking to baby boomers about a retirement plan. So being able to communicate effectively, I guess is the big challenge.
Right.
Yeah, with all the channels of communication that are available now, it adds challenges, but it's also a huge advantage to target people because they're all segmented. Some crossover, but every platform these days allows the ability. I mean, outside of print and traditional advertising, gives you the ability to target more precisely.
One size doesn't fit all.
Right.
One size doesn't fit all.
And we don't speak the way those generations speak either, or we're not attracted to the same visuals as they are.
Right. Well, one size doesn't fit all, and that's why everybody's plans got to be a little bit different. So,
Yeah, I would say this. We used to compete, like, what was our competitive advantage, right? Guaranteed lowest price, free delivery, all that kind of stuff. Well, that used to be what we benchmarked. But now we're competing against other companies who are marketing maybe more effectively or differently, or through TikTok, different social media, so different platforms. So that's why we rely on Portside to help us navigate the message, what platform, and we're competing against other companies who are trying to win in that digital space, and that requires more than me as an owner to try to handle on my own. And my hopes is that, if Miss Jones's refrigerator goes out, that some way along the way they heard the message and the branding that Portside provided us, and that's what they think. And that unfortunately happens, and we're there to service them.
well, guys, thank y'all all for being here. I appreciate it. We'll do chapter 2 next time. How about that? We could keep this going for days, right? So, thank you for being here. Let's eat.
Appreciate it, guys.
That's good.